Hey, I'm a person who plays games, and this is the very first video on my channel. I hope this gets a little bit of attention, so I can make another video in the future. All the gameplay footage in this video is mine, except that of Doom Eternal. I just don't have enough money to buy it currently. I do believe Eternal is a great game, but here I would like to showcase some of the differences between Eternal and its predecessor. Thanks, and enjoy the video. When the long-awaited Doom reboot came out in 2016, kind of flew way under anyone's radar. It was, however, a glorious success on the critical side of things. It let the pure arena combat of Doom from 1992 into the world of modern shooters while keeping the simplicity of old. Its gameplay was a streamlined masterpiece with all the polish and slick controls of today's FPS games and none of the things that take you out of the action. It incorporated quick-time events seamlessly into its experience while omitting reloading, sprinting, and other time wasters piled into your standard shooter these days. It wasn't Call of Duty, but it wasn't the original series either. Well, the originals relied on doubling back and collecting items to encourage exploration, but kept the same music and atmosphere the entire level. 2016 expertly uses those same times as you move around the map to be quiet, to immerse the player, which makes those times when you engage in combat even more exciting. The game sets the tone very well. It sells you on the dark, gritty world your Doomslayer has woken up into. To see this, look at the heads-up display. It's small, minimalistic, tells you what you need to know while still fitting into a tiny fraction of the screen. It isn't overstated, it doesn't look big, it lets you focus on the game, not the way you play it. It could exist in the world you're supposed to be in. Similar to Dead Space or Halo. It immerses the player into a serious, grim environment just by fitting in. Not to say Doom was a dark, depressing game. Took the darkness and added in some funny things, some silly or absurd moments. Remember Demonic Invasion in Progress? It blended its two vastly different tones into one highly refined piece of game design. Now we transfer into the true topic of this video, Doom Eternal. Now let's say this right off the bat, the game looks good, but it doesn't look like 2016. It has similar combat, equally brutal glory kills and the like, but it's overly cartoony. It uses slapstick humor and an overstated multicolored HUD, it has the Doomslayer swinging on giant yellow poles, cause hell surely has a lot of those, and scurrying up walls like an overgrown version of Remy the Rat. It isn't an immersive experience, it's a game. It's very clearly a game. It doesn't focus on immersion as much as it focuses on the gameplay, which, while being a very important part of a game, isn't the only part. You need immersion so that when you get to that epic set piece or intense boss battle, you feel it. You can intensify action just by having the subtle, quiet moments right before. A scream can make you jump in the middle of the night when everything is silent. But that same scream is just a little more noise at a Metallica concert. Action must have context, or it isn't shocking and exciting. Doom Eternal doesn't seem to have such context. I feel like Eternal won't be quite as rounded of an experience. Now let's talk about the cutscenes. Why would id Software put them in? Seriously? Look at 2016. You have a decent, if generic, storyline without many characters, and an action to fill in the gaps. But you do get a feel for the Slayer, even if you never actually see his face or his expressions. You understand his rage and anger, and for the rest of the time, he acts like Master Chief or Cooper from Titanfall 2. A vessel for the player. One last thing. This may sound contrary to what I said earlier, but we don't really need a story. We need immersion, but not necessarily from the story elements. 2016 used the movement, the exploration, and the combat to immerse, not the mediocre story. Now Eternal? It shows that the feel won't be the same when you have an opening cinematic cutscene and shots of the Slayer without his mask. So that's why I wanted to make this video, to explain the shift in design and tone that comes between Doom and Doom Eternal. The immersion will probably be lacking. Doesn't matter too much, but there can be no argument that Eternal isn't missing things. There's a dramatic change in tone, and 2016's atmosphere will surely be missed. I hope you enjoyed the video, and even if you didn't, please don't spam dislikes. This is not a review of Doom Eternal. I like the game, and I may very well buy it. Thank you for watching.